Rick and Morty constantly jumps around to crazy places and other dimensions, which means a lot of weird stuff goes on. And naturally, because the internet, people have been trying to spot clues and piece together theories about what's really going on in the show. And today specifically, we're gonna look at some theories revolving around Morty, the seemingly normal kid who sometimes goes on a murder spree or whatever. Here are the craziest Morty theories on Rick and Morty. If you're new to the channel, you can hit subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our videos. One of the big theories floating around is that the Morty that we follow each episode isn't Rick's original Morty. There have been a few references to Rick having memories of a baby Morty, but in the first season we found out that Rick supposedly returned to the family after abandoning them for 20 years. And that would mean that Rick left 6 years before Morty was even born.
Bad math.
Now we know that Rick sometimes jumps to new universes just to start again. So is the Rick we follow actually from a universe where he didn't abandon the family? It would explain how he has memories of baby Morty, but why did he leave? Rick C137 is the Rick we've been following, and he claims that he's the Rickest Rick. So it would go without saying that the Rickest Rick would have
the Mortiest Morty.
Just don't get too big for your loafers, Buster Brown.
So if there's such a thing as a Mortiest Morty and a Rickest Rick, technically there could be such a thing as a Mortiest Rick and a Rickest Morty. But with so many Ricks and Mortys in the show, who could be the Mortiest and the Rickest? Well, lots of theories point to who's being called Evil Morty is actually just the Rickest Morty. That would be why he seems smarter than the other Mortys we've seen. And Rick does mention that
cocky Morty can lead to some big problems. Can be a real bad thing for everybody.
As for the Mortiest Rick, well, maybe it's this guy? Kind of insulting to Mortys, but maybe. There are a lot of versions of this theory floating around, but essentially what they all boil down to is that Morty is Rick, or rather a young version of Rick. One of the things that doesn't really add up in this theory is that they don't look alike at all. Some people pointed to this Rick and Morty hybrid as proof that kind of a middle transition period is possible between the two. But we've also gotten a couple of glimpses at baby Ricks, and they don't really seem to look like Mortys. Then again, some other people say that Rick's wife looks a lot like Annie, who Morty has a crush on in the Anatomy Park episode, so maybe they got together? But overall, it's kind of a flimsy theory. And also, what would it bring to the show, you know? Feels like it would kind of be a forced Tyler Durden kind of twist, and the show wouldn't really be any better for it. Let's hope that one's not true. So we're not exactly sure what Evil Morty's plan is, but it seems like it's working and he's got some kind of vendetta. People have been wondering why he's so evil, and the answer might have been in front of us this whole time. In the intro credits, we see Rick abandoning Morty, and there's a theory that that's actually Evil Morty. This actually goes along with the first theory we spoke about our Morty not being Rick's original Morty, meaning that this would be the Morty that our Rick left for dead before jumping to a new dimension with a Morty that didn't have a Rick in his life. In terms of things that would make somebody want revenge on someone else, being abandoned with a bunch of murderous monsters would kind of fit the bill. Well, that's it for today's quick list. Let us know in the comment section, first of all, what you think of these theories, and if you have any other ones revolving around Morty. Also, if you're watching this on Facebook, you can hit the link to jump over to YouTube and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching.